A few years ago, South America's film industry was fighting for survival. Cinemas were closed, productions had stopped, and the future looked uncertain. Yet, while the world was busy talking about Hollywood struggles, the rise of Korean cinema, and India's box office explosion, something extraordinary was happening almost unnoticed. South America was staging one of the most remarkable comebacks in movie history. Today, the region is producing Oscar winners, globally acclaimed streaming hits, and record-breaking local blockbusters. Its filmmakers are earning international recognition. Its audiences are returning to cinemas faster than many of the world's biggest markets. And its stories are reaching viewers across the globe like never before. So how did a film industry that nearly collapsed during the pandemic become one of the most exciting forces in global cinema? This is the story of cinema's most overlooked success story. Hello and welcome to Box Office Bhaskar. This channel exists to pull back the curtain on the global film industry. I examine film through three lenses: the business behind it, the content within it, and the audience behavior that drives all of it. If you want to understand film at a deeper level, you're in the right place. The South American film industry was able to achieve a transformation immediately after one of the worst crises the movie business has ever faced, the COVID pandemic. South American cinema has not only bounced back, but in many respects emerged stronger than before. The story of how that happened reveals a great deal about where global filmmaking may be heading next. Like every major film market around the world, South America was hit hard by COVID-19. Cinemas across Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and the rest of the continent were forced to close. Productions were suspended indefinitely, film festivals were cancelled or moved online, and release schedules collapsed. For an industry that still relies heavily on theatrical attendance and public funding, the outlook appeared very bleak. Many feared that years of progress would be erased almost overnight. Yet, amid the disruption, filmmakers across the continent found new ways to survive. Streaming platforms became a crucial lifeline as Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and other services competed aggressively for subscribers. Demand for international content exploded. Suddenly, film and series that might previously have struggled to find audiences outside their home countries were being watched around the world. Stories produced in Bogota, Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, and Santiago were reaching viewers across Europe, North America, and Asia. While the pandemic changed how people consumed entertainment, it also gave South American storytellers access to global audiences on a scale that would have been difficult to imagine just a decade earlier. When cinemas began opening in 2022, most industry analysts expected a slow and painful recovery. Instead, the rebound exceeded expectations. By 2023, Latin America generated approximately $2.66 billion at the box office, representing a 32% increase over the previous year. Even more impressively, the region had recovered to within just 8% of its average pre-pandemic performance. While many mature cinema markets were still struggling to convince audiences to return to theaters, South America was regaining momentum at an extraordinary pace. Brazil led much of this recovery. As the continent's largest economy and home to more than 200 million people, it naturally became an engine for driving growth. Argentina also posted encouraging results, releasing more domestic films in 2022 than it had before the pandemic. The recovery wasn't simply about returning to old habits. It marked the beginning of a new phase in which local productions were becoming increasingly important to audiences throughout the region. The strongest evidence of this transformation emerged in 2024. Cinema attendance across Ibero-America reached approximately 73% of pre-pandemic levels, outperforming North America, Asia Pacific, and much of Europe. Brazil alone generated around $290 million in box office revenue, while selling approximately 81 million cinema tickets. Argentina's movie theater market surpassed $290 million and continues to grow steadily. These figures are impressive on their own, but they reveal a deeper trend. Audiences were increasingly choosing local stories. South American moviegoers weren't simply returning to cinemas to watch Hollywood films. They were embracing films that reflected their own cultures, histories, language, and experiences. Then came 2025, a year that may ultimately be remembered as a historic turning point. Brazilian filmmaker Walter Salles achieved something generations of filmmakers had dreamed about when his film I'm Still Here won the Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. The victory represented Brazil's first ever Oscar win in the category and became a moment of enormous national pride. Reports described celebrations erupting across the country, including emotional reactions during the Rio de Janeiro's famous Carnival festivities. This Oscar victory wasn't an isolated success. Just 2 years earlier, Argentina had earned international recognition with Argentina 1985, which secured an Academy Award nomination and introduced global audiences to one of the country's most important historical stories. Across the continent, filmmakers were becoming increasingly visible at major film festivals and award ceremonies. South America was no longer producing occasional international hits here and there. It was becoming a consistent presence on the world stage. One of the biggest drivers behind this transformation has been the rise of streaming. For decades, many South American productions struggled to secure international distribution. A critically acclaimed film might win awards at festivals, yet remain largely unseen outside its home country. Streaming platforms fundamentally changed that equation. Today, audiences around the world can discover South American films and series with a single click. Perhaps the clearest example of this shift is Netflix's adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude. Based on Gabriel Garcia Marquez's legendary novel, the series became one of the most ambitious productions ever mounted in the region. Its success demonstrated that South American stories could attract global audiences without sacrificing their cultural identity. Rather than imitating Hollywood, filmmakers could embrace their own histories, languages, and perspectives while still finding international success. Another reason for huge optimism is investment. Governments and industry organizations increasingly recognize that film can be both a cultural asset and an economic driver. Brazil's state of Sao Paulo recently unveiled one of the most ambitious audiovisual development plans in the continent's history, signaling long-term support for local production. Meanwhile, initiatives such as Ibermedia Next are helping filmmakers embrace new technologies and encouraging international co-productions, particularly in animation. These programs are creating huge opportunities for young filmmakers while strengthening the infrastructure needed to compete globally. The animation sector is especially worth watching. New funding initiatives are encouraging South American studios to experiment with advanced production tools and collaborate with international partners. Industry leaders have described these developments as potential game changers, creating opportunities for the region to become more competitive in a market traditionally dominated by North American and Japanese studios. All of this raises an important question: what comes next? The answer appears to be more growth, greater visibility, and bigger productions. Several major projects expected across 2026 and 2027 could help elevate South American cinema even further. Brazil remains particularly well positioned with a number of internationally recognized filmmakers developing new projects that are already attracting attention from festivals and distributors. Following the success of I'm Still Here, global audiences will be paying closer attention to whatever Brazilian cinema produces next. Argentina also continues to build momentum. The country's filmmakers have developed a reputation for creating prestige dramas and politically charged stories that resonate strongly with international audiences. New projects expected over the next 2 years are likely to continue that tradition, particularly as streaming services seek more high-quality Spanish language content. One project that could have a particular significant impact in the near future is The Eternaut. Based on Argentina's iconic science fiction graphic novel, the adaptation has already generated substantial international interest. If successful, it could open the door for more ambitious South American genre productions, proving that the region can compete not only in drama and art of cinema, but also in science fiction, fantasy, and large-scale commercial storytelling. Ultimately, South America's greatest advantage may be momentum. A few years ago, the industry was fighting for survival. Today, it is winning Oscars, breaking box office records, attracting international investment, and producing globally successful streaming content. The pandemic could have permanently weakened the region's film industry. Instead, it accelerated a transformation that was already beginning to take shape. South American cinema is no longer simply recovering. it is becoming one of the most important creative forces in global filmmaking. And if current trends continue, the next great wave of international cinema may come from this region. The question is no longer whether South American cinema matters. The question is just how big it's about to become. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe for more deep dive into movies. And let me know in the comments which South American film has impressed you the most in recent years. I will be back with another video very soon. Until then, it's bye from Box Office Bhaskar.